This podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com. They came from the game table, dice bags in hand.
We have one brain that we share between us.
To talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you like it.
The original and basic, then one they scoured.
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
To bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever.
Yeah, check those out. They're really nice. Hiya, folks. THACO's Hammer. Splat book number 109, Beast Mode.
Yeah.
Size of it. Anyway,
Marshawn Lynch ain't got nothing on us. Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, as I turn my phone off, we are going to say hi to DM Brian.
Hey, folks, what's going on out there?
All right, and DM Full On Gamer.
Greetings, Gamer Nation.
Damn, I'm going to miss that. And DM Corey's still out and about. It's we're on the verge of the 4th of July weekend, so he's probably incommunicado with the family for probably the next 4 days. Mm-hmm. So, hey, Corey, how you doing? We're carrying on. Yep. Anyway, let's go hit some crits.
Well?
One thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly.
So?
They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate.
Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits.
Hits and crits. Yeah, what's up, Brian? How's your soon-to-be weekend shaping up?
Oh, let's see. Well, yeah, I have tomorrow off, and of course the weekend, everything goes back to normal on Monday, but my plans are to get my apartment straightened out a little bit, and also to play as much Marvel Heroes as I can. I mean, I played some today, just, they have this thing called Big Ten, which is 10 different events crammed into 1 week. Actually, today's the last day of it. And they also have like a 192% server-side XP boost and rare item find and special item find. So all you have to do is just go out there and, do your missions, do your terminals, go and patrol Midtown, Manhattan, or do, oh goodness, what is it called? Oh God, I feel so terrible. Industry City, that's it. And just do that and beat up on the bosses and get your loot. And, you'll be able to advance pretty far in the game in a very short amount of time.
So do you get triple loot for beating up Deadpool?
Deadpool's a playable character.
Then again, probably not, because everybody wants to beat him.
Yeah, no. The funny part is that when Deadpool first came out, everybody played him. Everybody.
I believe it.
And he's the last one in the set of heroes, which is up to 43 now. It's playable heroes. Pretty much almost everyone you can think of off the top of your head.
Nice.
Deadpool's the last one. Everyone else has gotten their what they call level 52 review, where the characters have their ultimate power. Now, in previous incarnations of the game, that came on at level 30, but they fixed it to where now it's level 52, which is only 8 levels short of maximum. And usually it's pretty devastating / humorous. Like, everything with Deadpool is funny. Most of his powers are pretty funny. I mean, the things he says while you're fighting are absolutely hilarious. Never mind the Deadpool kid and Lady Deadpool and just all these various costume incarnations, which are all deluxe editions, which means they have their separate voiceovers. So yeah, it's all different and all crazy, but yeah.
So See, and that's all. Well, let's see. Marvel's Disney, so never mind.
What?
I thought they'd let DC Heroes in.
No, no.
I wanted to play Freakazoid.
Exclusivity contract. Well, you know what? DC Heroes Online is actually kind of back. I actually saw someone streaming playing that, and I think you can actually make your own heroes in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd either like to play Freakazoid or Plastic Man.
Well, you know what? If you played Marvel Heroes, you can play Reed Richards.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true.
So there you go.
You know, I'd have Freakazoid and I have Foamy the Freakadog with me. Anyway, how you doing, Full On? What's up?
I'm doing all right. We're still unpacking the house as I'm getting ready to pack to depart for parts known and unknown in Sandy. I will raise your 192% XP with the times 12 XP event, which is still ongoing for the Old Republic, and is pretty much expected to stay ongoing until further notice, which will essentially be probably till October when they have their new expansion release. So that's times 12 XP for the story content. That's times 12 XP for the story content of the Old Republic.
That's better.
Sorry. And but it's for subscribers. It's not part of the free-to-play part. But free-to-play is still what the game is. So you can try it out, see if you like it, and then choose to subscribe and then come play it.
Do you get a military? Do you get a military discount for that?
No.
Damn.
But
you should.
You do get a discount the bigger your subscription is. So you can get instead of the $15.99 a month, you can get it down to $13.99 a month.
Nice.
If you buy like the 6-month block at a time. But anywho,
you're deploying. You're deploying for how long again?
Less than a year so far.
I want to see what you look like on tour when you come back.
Depends on who you look at. I've got 18 characters, so
yeah. Then there's that.
It'll be tripled by the time.
Altaholics, Altaholics. I got to buy more slots if I want more than that. Plus, I'm almost at max for the server anyway. But there's supposed to be new races available with the new expansion anyway, so we'll see.
You give new meaning to the term sock puppet.
Hey.
Wow. Jeez, Glenn.
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of weekend.
Apparently.
But that's what I plan to do with most of my weekend other than upgrading the gaming rig so that I can take it with me and do stuff and monitors and hard drives and RAM and other stuff like that.
Are you allowed that much poundage or weight?
If you want to pack right, you can pack right. There's ways to get that. So it's not like the old days of World War II and Saving Private Ryan. It's the digital age, and the entire universe is connected. So the army is not, you can do a whole lot from a cave in the middle of Afghanistan. Just ask the other side. So.
Yes, we found out where the enemy servers are for their MMO. Let's nuke them.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my plans for the weekend.
Cool.
Doing stuff like that, and resisting the rise of Skynet by any and all means. From Genesis, very good show. Go see it.
Okay. Let's see. What did I do? I changed hats.
Mm-hmm.
I retired my black fedora. I had to.
Mm-hmm.
I commemorated on my video Old Man Grognard, and because it was getting old and dirty and losing its shape. So now I have my brown Indiana Jones hat that I wear. Yeah, which holds its shape a lot better, and since I haven't been wearing it, but I did that. Took the kid for Pokemon last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
He had a whole lot of fun. And his brother and his daddy went to see Jurassic World 3D IMAX.
Jeez.
Yeah, they said it was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh God, look, we're gonna get trampled by a dinosaur. Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. I think we're all in agreement that 3D is more of a gimmick than an actual immersive experience.
But IMAX 3D. Oh my God.
I was not impressed by the IMAX. Theater. It really is just the same screen, but bigger. It's not a 16:9 screen. It's a 4:3 screen. Yeah. That's not impressive to me.
Yeah.
I don't care how big it is. I'm used to sitting in the front row anyway.
Right.
So I always have an IMAX experience.
Yeah, I've been to an IMAX theater in Boston, an actual legit one where people were actually getting ill from how the camera was moving around. So yeah, what they do nowadays is nowhere close.
I haven't been to IMAX since before they went commercial. The Oklahoma Science Museum has one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I watched something there in a true IMAX screen.
Yeah.
I think it had something to do with underwater fish and stuff, and it's like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in the middle of an aquarium.
Yeah. Well, look at it this way. You know it's going to be interesting if they tell you that if you start to feel nauseous to look down at your feet, take your eyes off the screen for a minute.
Yeah, but they put a screen under my feet, and now I look like I'm 50 feet up.
Yeah.
I bet they do that sometime. Oh, Disney, where's your circle vision? Let's see, what else? Last weekend, we didn't have a game because Matt decided to have a vasectomy. And yeah, it's like they just had a kid. It's like one and done. Okay.
Yeah.
And Jimbo, who hosts our thing, had gallstones.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, we're not going to play this weekend. This next weekend, everybody's doing their own thing. My wife is going to be out of town in Texas. The grandkids are not going to be here. Mm-hmm. My stepson is probably going to go and party for parts unknown. Mm-hmm. And it's just me, myself, and I.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could probably find something to do. Come on, you live in the capital city of a state, Glenn. Come on, you can find something.
You haven't seen, this state. It's not all that.
What he really needs to do is go have himself live action role playing of propane and propane accessories.
Yeah, I forgot that's where it was based.
I tell you what,
they're going to Texas. I'll tell you, go out and then 4th of July, man, pop all the time. Doesn't she? Boomhauer's right. Anyway, so that's me, and let's get to some emails.
Okay.
That'd be shy. Shut up, Bill.
Yeah, we can certainly do that.
And we got DM Corey.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Yep. What you been doing this week?
This week, cleaning, prepping, and working on the campaign that we're going to be doing Sunday in a couple days. And I'm off for the next 5 days in a row. So I've been doing a lot of commission artwork. Just got tapped to do some interior artwork for And magazine.
Lucky.
I guess it's a D&D-esque OSR based.
Yes, magazine. I have all the issues. Yes.
So I guess I'll be in issue 12 or issue 13. I don't remember which one, but
Can you take it? Can you take it off any sweet jumps?
I wish I could.
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. I've been sorting my artwork myself for possibly getting prints and maybe selling them at places like conventions and other places like that.
Oh, that's cool.
I know it's a bold undertaking, but what the hell? You only live once.
Exactly.
Anyway, we got emails, right?
Yeah, we got some emails.
What's the first one?
Full on.
First email we have is from DM Gravedancer.
Hey.
Hello, guys. DM Gravedancer here with another topic of conversation. My crew and I only get to play a few times a year and have not had the pleasure of killing anybody in the campaigns we play. Okay. I would like to hear if you guys can remember about the first time you killed someone's character. Corey, if I remember correctly, you have a board in your room depicting the deaths of your players. How did you feel? The players' reactions, the outcomes, friendships ending, perhaps thrown objects. Let's hear it all. You guys are amazing.
I thought
the great work. DM Gravedancer.
And I thought Bunny Berrigan was dead.
We're gonna have to.
You sound like the six-fingered man from The Prince. Right? Please be honest. This is for posterity.
You know what? From now on,
right.
From now on, when we get an email from DM Gravedancer, Full On's reading it in that voice. From now on, I had to mute my mic because I was laughing so hard. But anyway, answering the email. Okay, Corey. He asked you specifically, so you should go first.
first time I killed the character was a friend of mine character, and he decided that he did not want to fight the 12-plus skeleton warriors that I had coming down the corridor. So he decided to jump into the stagnant water, which happened to be lined with some green slime.
Ooh.
That was the first one.
Yikes.
It wasn't. He didn't know it was there, obviously, but he didn't like the fact that I hit a monster from him. And then from that point on, yeah, it got easier.
It got easier.
Essentially, what I do is I make the world as dangerous as I want it to be, and then it's all up to the players to determine whether or not they feel like walking into that dangerous world. There's a reason why I don't, up here in northern Pennsylvania, decide to get down into my underwear and strap porterhouse steaks around my waist and go bear hunting. It's because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I thought you did that at the con. Okay,
Well,
never mind.
Yeah, I do that at the con.
Before or after you pee off the fifth floor balcony? Sorry.
Good stories.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have.
That's
a
the gift
board.
that keeps on giving.
It is. I do have a cork board on the wall with everybody's player characters pinned to it with a thumbtack in a pile. The newest death goes on the top, and then eventually everybody slowly gets a tombstone made out of breakfast cereal boxes that hard cardboard but not real corrugated cardboard. And then I just cut out shapes of tombstones, and then I pluck up tombstones up there and I write their name and how they died. And for fun, because I'm an artist, when they die, I take a Sharpie and I draw on the front of their character sheet how they died in some comical way. So, yeah.
If you well, you can't get them anymore, because I was going to say, if I ever die in your game, can you make mine out of a Fruit Brute box? That's a little shout out to Pulp Fiction too, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I've killed people. It's not like I'm a deadly DM as far as I play the game to kill people. I play the game to see how far these players and their heroic characters that they roll with 46 drop the lowest, allow them to put stats wherever they want. I allow them to see how far those heroic heroes can survive in the dangerous world that I've created.
And that's the only way to roll them, folks. That's the man's way. 4d6, drop the lowest, put them where you want.
Huh. Yeah, okay.
I did a crotch grab. It's Michael Jackson. I did a crotch grab. Anyway, yeah, Corey. How big is your board? Do you mind if I ask?
4 foot by 5 foot.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger than poster size.
Uh-huh.
I almost got to the point where there I have a section of the wall in my one game room. I was gonna just get those corkboard squares with adhesive on the back and just board the whole wall. That way I can just keep adding to the entire wall, including maps or dungeon maps or
good idea
maps.
Let's see.
It is always fun when the players kill a dungeon, so putting one of those up on the wall is nice too.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, as far as the DM, I can't even remember the last time I actually outright killed somebody.
I can't either.
Yeah, I mean, the last serious thing, and I've told the story before, was basically a dwarf fighter got his arm cut off in a fight due to a critical hit upon him, and he was so mad at that. It was sheer happenstance and everything like that, and yeah, he got so mad he decided to have his character kill himself and rolled up another one right at the table.
Yeah, I almost added another one to the wall simply by the wizard being dumb and testing all his magic items.
Oh. Well, I now remember my last kill. It was like 1979. No, I'm using 1989.
Wow.
Believe it.
Last or first?
Last.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, my last one, and you know what it was?
What?
Champions.
Wow.
You can kill characters in Champions.
It's just not very easy.
This guy played a guy with 6 arms who's kind of a diva, a Shiva type character.
Right.
And I put him up against this big brick, assuming he was a martial artist with all those arms, and the brick just made him into paste. I apologized up, down, and sideways And the guy kept going, no, that's all right. Oh, man, I killed you in a Champions game?
Hey,
how did I do that?
That's a point of pride, Glenn. Considering how hard it is,
My next goal is Toon.
That shouldn't be. No, because you get killed, you come back, 10 minutes later, I think the rule is?
2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
Full on?
Okay, I think the first time was while we were transitioning from the X3 to X1.
Okay.
I was going from the Curse of Xanathon to Isle of Dread.
You were going backwards?
Hey, back in the day, what you got from the Stars and Stripes bookstore overseas is what you got from the Stars and Stripes bookstore overseas.
This is true.
And I believe that was pretty much the first, instance of combat where we actually deliberately killed off somebody. It was back in the 7th grade, and other odd things were happening too. But I believe it was Shark, Big Shark. Big shark in the water.
Got eaten. Mm-hmm.
Tried to cut their way out, didn't do it in time, drowned.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not even the damage killed him, it was drowning.
Yeah, drowning. Yeah. Jeez. Wow. But yeah.
I'll never forget the first time
was Night Below.
Okay.
Yeah, in the murder hole or not?
No, in actual Night Below content, not murder hole content.
City of the Glass Pool or whatever it
No,
is?
didn't make it that far.
Oh, okay.
They were still up in the book 1. They were still in Heronshire.
Oh, wow. Really? Well, then again, that's first level characters, so yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, it was in the zone.
By the way, I want to do a plug tangent here. Full on, you might want to look at Vaults of Pandius's. They just came out with a new Threshold magazine, which is all about Mystara.
Which is
and
good.
I noticed,
a very good magazine, by the way.
It is. By the way, I noticed there was a 2 or 3 part series in some of the back issues of adapting Night Below to Mystara. And basic. You might want to look at that.
I'll look at that. I'm the one carrying the Mystara banner around here. I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, but it's Night Below. The first thing I think of is Full On.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Grave Dancer.
Okay.
And what else we got?
All right, let me archive that real quick, and let's see. Got one from a longtime listener to the show. His name Keith Haddad.
Hi, Keith.
Okay, he says, I've been reading through the spell components used in Castles and Crusades, and they seem more reasonable. I love the idea of spell components, but hand wave it like everyone else. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. It's the bookkeeping can be really crazy when you get into higher levels. I'm thinking of maybe making a simplified spell component system necessary, but if you can do what it says in the 2E book, hold on, I gotta reread that. I'm thinking of maybe making a simplified spell component system necessary, but if you can do what it says in the 2E book, gives a little bonus. Okay, I'd have to look at that. If you get the chance, look at the CNC handbook, and you'll notice their components are easier. And if you get a chance to read the Castle Keeper guide, there's a good list of components per spell, and I think it's pretty simple. It's
okay. You caught my attention at Castles and Crusades.
Yeah, I thought that would.
That is my baby right now. I do have the Player's Handbook, the Monsters and Treasure, and the Castle Keeper's Guide, so I will look those up in the future. Even though I don't like dealing with the material components, it may come up with some good stuff that I could use anyway.
Perhaps. So yeah, you're considering going into Castles and Crusades, aren't you?
I'm not considering.
Oh, you've already done it.
You guys go 5e, you other guys go Pathfinder. I'm going here.
Okay, yeah, nothing wrong with that. He says it's always said that wizards end up so much more powerful in fighters later on, but this way they might at least be poorer buying components all the time.
True.
Yeah. So
that's the only reason they put the material components in there is to keep the players poor, or at least keep the wizards poor.
Well, yeah, that's why they did the components. That's why they did level training. All that to keep the players, give the players a reason to adventure aside from monetary gain, just to be able to feed themselves and their henchmen, I guess.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, folks, check out Castles and Crusades.
Easy.
I'm sorry.
Easy.
I believe the optional rule he was talking about was even the fact of using the material spell components in the first place, as mentioned in page 113 and 114 of the player's handbook, where you can put it into effect where you use them or not as you see fit as the GM, because it's that A, keeps them poor, B, it is also another spoiler and foil for the mage, just because if you don't have your components with you, you can have the spell memorized and you still can't cast it.
Right.
Well,
another way, a sort of a middle road, and this is one thing I saw with when I was playing, and Allie was the DM back in the day. She just said, you know what, flat fee per spell level for component maintenance, and pay, just pay the cost and be done with it. And
good idea.
Yeah, that kind of.
I like that. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it that way it takes some of the coin out of the players' pockets.
But you're not completely hand waving it.
Yeah, exactly.
Those of you who played Tunnels and Trolls can get behind this.
Yeah,
you write up a wizard, you get all first level spells for free. Then they charge you after that per spell, and it ain't cheap.
Wow.
Yeah. And in a crossover that's kind of like the precursor to the sorcerer rules, there are ways you can just hand wave it or not hand wave it or partially hand wave it and say things like, okay, all of your generic spell component-y stuff, whether it's dirt, feathers, spider webs, goldfish, whatever, is
and
generally pretty
easy,
cheap, and can be acquired by simply stating you're making the effort to work on acquiring spell components, scavenging in the course of your daily preparation, just like you do with spell memorization if you're actually using that rule. And you can have also, hey, we killed the thing, and the wizard whips out his buck knife and says, I'm going for the eyes because those are special, and all those goody things like that. It is also useful to impose the requisite, as the DM sees fit, necessary special spell components that actually do get consumed, as opposed to some of the utility ones that are not only need to be present but are reusable, like your little glass rods and stuff like that. But some of the more expensive ones, put the dime on them, make them go look for that 100 gold piece pearl and stuff like that. Those are cheap, and having the mage say, I want the 100 gold piece pearl, and everybody looks at him like, you are not going to spellcast with that. Do you want everything identified? Well, maybe you are going to spellcast with that. I don't know, but it has a fair market value of use for the rest of the party.
Yeah.
Another way that it can be done with that is if you hand wave spell components pretty much entirely, but the player makes the effort to get spell components involved and make use of them, give them a little Benny or a bonus, a little +1 or a -1 to somebody's save if you actually spellcasted with components versus without.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and also, your power gamers, if you start, really emphasizing the components part of it, the power gamers are going to be picking spells based on components rather than how effective they are.
No, that's true.
And they'll do stuff like,
And I just thought of this. There's a couple of articles in Dragon Magazine, and I think there's a couple in some rule books somewhere that I can't think of right now. I think it's Spells and Magic, but I may be mistaken.
Yep. Special spell components to get you special bennies instead of normal bennies.
Oh, not even just that. I'm just saying just a list of spell components as pertains to various spells and how much they would cost if someone wanted to go down that road. Personally, I don't want to. I want to keep the game moving rather than spending 30 minutes with the mage getting all his spell components correct and getting all the spells. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, there are different ways to do it. If you can completely hand wave it, like I'd say like 60% of DMs do, or you could choose a middle road like what Allie came up with, or you can go completely, completely OCD on it if you wanted to.
Was that Corey?
No, I'm just saying I agree. I mean, some people will waste 40-45 minutes just dealing with the one wizard in the party because he needs special stuff. Well, then you got to go, and you don't want to freaking kill his role play by going, all right, you talk to the merchant and he gives you your spell components. Let's move on.
Right.
You know, they're in town, and he's going to be like, hey, I want to talk to the merchant. What kind of guy is he? I want to check out his character. You think I can, like, you know, cheap him down, you know, and talk him down price-wise? Is he interesting? Well, then you got to come up with an NPC for them, and pretty soon you're like, everybody else at the table is bored. I mean, you got to find a nice middle of the road.
Correct.
Yeah.
In Bluffside, they have a nice little haggling thing. It comes down to a charisma roll on the PC's part.
Yep. Yeah, and
for haggling, and that speeds it up a lot.
Yeah, and there's and I think Dragon Magazine 143. I think that's the one. No, not 143. Oh God, I can't remember the number. But it basically where, you know, they came up with the charisma-based proficiencies, and haggling is one of them. You know, or as they call it bargaining, but it's haggling to me. And it's the same thing. It basically comes down to a proficiency check, and, you know, depending on how much you beat the roll by is, you know, how much you pay for something, or how much you're able to get someone's asking price down, depending.
No, you're doing it all wrong. It ain't for that. You must be mad.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you, Keith. You got us thinking, and that always hurts. Next, we got a third one, don't we?
Yeah, I got a third one. Corey, you want to read it, or you good?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, it's another email from our constant contributor, FD.
Hi, FD.
Okay, he's asking about Red Steel. Do you guys plan on doing this setting? Yeah, I know. I thought it was pretty cool. I never got a chance to play it. The races were fun. I believe most of them were from one of the expert series, and you're correct. The setting itself is on Mystara. Ironically enough, the only real thing I didn't like was the setting's namesake, the Red Steel Cinnabro or something like that. Yeah, it's Cinnabro. Plus, Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Stinking Toidles.
Tortles?
Yeah, Tortles. Yep. Or what were the other ones? I can't remember. But
what, the rest of the Palladium system?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
basically, yeah, because
it's the entire Palladium system. It's got everything. You want turtles? We got turtles. You want roadhogs? We got roadhogs. We got After the Bomb? You got After the Bomb.
Yeah.
You want superheroes? We got superheroes. Ninjas and super spies? Ninjas and super spies. Robotech? You know, beyond the supernatural, we can do that too. Play all of it.
Yep.
And then start playing riffs.
Yeah, for some reason. But yeah, Red Steel, I've played in it once. My personal thing is that they took the Savage Coast, which is kind of funny because in most Mystara campaigns, the world ends where, you know, at the border of the western border of the 5 Shires, and the Savage Coast is just beyond that. That's where you run into Rakastas. That's where you run into Lupins, werewolves, shape changers, all kinds of fun stuff. They do have a module / supplement for the Savage Coast that they did in the X series. I think it's X9, I think. It's either X8 or X9, I can never remember. But you know, but as far as Red Steel goes, it was an okay setting. You know, I just think it was just a little too bizarro for me as far as the game setting goes. But yeah, we can cover it.
Well, it was a
little gimmicky. It was you know, it was Dark Sun meets Birthright.
Yeah, Dark Sun meets Birthright with a little bit of Robotech in there. It
had a lot of swashbuckling in there. I remember
that was the best part about it, actually. But
the whole Red Steel thing about having to have it on you and it affects you and stuff like that seemed to be like a DM gimmick to keep players from not going where you don't want them to, like out of the Savage Coast.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you know,
I don't like that.
Yeah, I kind of get it. You know, it was one of those things where it was kind of like part of the game was always trying to get more Cinnabro, you know, and trying to get Red Steel weapons and things like that. That was part of it. And it was sort of like, it's okay, but yeah, I can't see playing this more than like a couple of one-shots here and there.
The funny thing is, if you actually go and Google it, Cinnabro is it's Cinnabar. It's an actual element.
Yeah.
It's highly radioactive, and
Mhm.
it doesn't give anybody superpowers or magic powers, but
Right.
not that I know of. I don't know. I haven't tested it because all my minions keep escaping. But
Yeah, and that was the whole thing. Is that if you kept it on you, it mutated you somehow, and some of the mutations were pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I use red steel in my world. Right now, we just got finished with somebody playing with it, but it's not Cinnabril. I use a different. I use Rubicite. It's just
So you could use that to introduce like Gamma World mutations.
I could. But yeah, I wanted the fear of red steel and the temptation of power versus cost in the magic items, where instead of I'm just gonna wait for Fred the Enchanter to make me a +3 bastard sword, it's I can get a bastard sword right now made out of Cinnabril. Do I want to do it or not? I mean, that's the fun to see what kind of character you're playing. So
Right, and what kind of character you end up with by keeping.
yeah, but
that stuff.
I never played in the Savage Lands world. It never grabbed me. And it didn't interest me at all. Just like Birthright didn't. Just like
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I much prefer what Bruce Hurd did with that area in Voyages of the Princess Arc. I much preferred that kind of stuff, and I took that and put my own little special twist on it, made it my own. Yeah, but it is in our show notes. We will cover it at some point. I just don't know when. But just hang in there.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. FD once again.
Thank you, FD. And if you guys want to give us a shout out or talk to us or say, why the hell aren't you doing this? Give us a shout out at thacozammer@gmail.com.
And we have a phone number.
No, we don't. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
806-405.
Nope, back it up. Reverse that.
405-806-0555.
Stop, reverse it.
Strike that, reverse that. Thank you.
Yeah. Or something like that. And we will move on to people skills.
Pretty sure we have time to bury them fellas.
Hell with them fellas.
Buzzards gotta eat, same as worms.
How can you shoot women, children? Easy. You just don't lead them so much. Ain't war hell?
Where shall I find a new adversary so close to my own level?
Try the local sewer.
People skills. People skills. The first section in Flatbook 109, Beast Mode. Humanoids. Beast Man.
Yep. Yes, indeedy.
We're back in Flash Gordon area. Now, Lion Men, Hawk Men.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Now these are Beast Men, not Mongrel Men, right?
Yeah, no, these are Beast Men are completely different. Yes.
Yeah. So we have like nations, like kind of the Rakasta and things like that. Okay, talk to me about it.
Excuse me, sorry, I was trying to find my. There it is. Okay, Beast Men are short, slender humanoids with a fine layer of dark green or olive-colored fur covering their bodies. An inner coat of coarse black fur lies beneath this, which gives them a natural camouflage ability. Beastmen can instinctively create patterns of stripes or spots across their bodies. This coloration helps them blend in with shadows of the forest from which they hail. In their native forest, Beastmen are dangerous hunters and adversaries. However, they seek to avoid combat and even contact with others unless they must defend themselves or their tribes. Which is interesting because a lot of Nistara's history, especially Karameiko's, they've had wars against Beastmen. So that's kind of interesting.
Well, like Beastmen, are they just like Beastmen?
Are they like what?
Beastmen, well, what do they look like?
I'm looking at a picture of them in, it's on like page 20 of the Complete Humanoids book. It's kind of weird. They have sort of these large ears on a rather human/animal shaped head, and they're wielding primitive weapons.
So Leon Chaney with more fur.
Lon Chaney, you mean?
Yeah, Lon Chaney with more fur.
Okay.
Think werewolf.
Okay.
Old Hammer style werewolf.
Okay.
With full body fur.
Universal werewolf.
Yeah, universal werewolf, full body fur, and kind of apish but not necessarily. But you're not necessarily handcuffed to that. That's just the picture.
Okay.
Right.
So they're Wookiees.
No, they're not Wookiees.
They're
Actually, if you take the old artwork concept, the Macquarie concept art for Chewbacca,
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, the early stuff from like the
early
mid
Macquarie
70s.
concept art for Chewbacca, it would look kind of like that.
Mhm.
Basically, culturally, these are the Na'vi.
What's the movie that Godfather guy
Brando?
Coppola?
Thank you.
Oh, Brando.
Redid
Island of
Dr. Moreau.
Those beasts.
Charles Lawton, yes.
He who breaks the law goes back to the house of pain.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Charles Lawton. Thank you, Bela Lugosi.
Mm-hmm.
The house of pain. Are we not the men? Anyway.
Let's see, to continue. They are experts with spears, stone axes, and knives, bolas, nets, and blowguns. Some beastmen even know how to create a special poison for their blowgun darts. Those who fail a saving throw versus poison and a +4 bonus on the die, or die in 2 to 4 rounds. This tox can only be prepared in the wild and with the proper ingredients.
From the roots of the tree in Pandora. Oh wait, wrong guys.
Yeah, exactly. Did you just do an Avatar reference?
2 of them. You missed the first one.
Yeah, I did.
Navi earlier.
Yeah, I completely missed that. It's been so long since I've seen Avatar. Yeah, it went right over me. So yeah, these are more of a primitive society, and they can be as aggressive or as reclusive as the DM wants them to be. So for using them as PCs, the role-playing suggestions say that beastmen seldom wear clothing or ornamentation as it interferes with their camouflage ability and with the use of their language. Their language is spoken words, hand and body gestures, even the shifting of fur patterns, and all other languages they might learn are considered simplistic and primitive. So they have a feeling of superiority over other races because of this.
So you can get you can have one in the party as the noble, savage, barbarian type.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Special advantages. They can make themselves undetectable in forest settings, able to hide with a 90% chance of success.
Wow.
Opponents who are not aware of the presence get a -6 penalty to their surprise rolls, which is hefty. Let's see.
I really want email on this. I can just hear DMs going, "You had to do the Beastman. Now every frickin' player wants to play a Beastman."
Yeah. Well, you know, when the frickin' elves thing came out, everyone wanted to be a blade singer. What do you want? Just never be afraid to tell your players no, like Corey said in our last episode. Anyway, now this is interesting. This is more of a role-playing thing, but beastmen do not believe in magic, ghosts, spirits, or the supernatural.
Ooh.
Only things that can be touched, tasted, smelled, or heard exist. They are not hindered by superstitions. So, if a beastman doesn't believe in magic, what happens when he actually sees a mage cast a spell?
He goes catatonic? Or it
Well,
goes berserk?
And it could go like a whole bunch of different ways, role-playing wise.
He runs into a tavern and starts drinking?
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, they
now,
could fall in the category of they actually witnessed it happen, so they get down with it. But
yeah, it could be they accept it or they freak out. It all depends on the player, I guess. Okay, now
life doesn't revolve around some mystic force that hoped everything. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was in my Han Solo.
Weapons and hokey religions.
There we go. I was in my Han Solo mode for a minute.
I was wondering how bad you were going to mangle it. Anyway, now this is an advantage and a disadvantage. By nature, beastmen are non-magical. They have an 80% magic resistance even to beneficial effects. They cannot use magical items except for magical weapons and cannot themselves initiate any special magical functions of such weapons. So if they have a flame tongue, it's just a +1 sword. They can't
activate.
Yeah, can't activate it exactly.
You know what's odd?
Yes.
And maybe a typo. Perhaps it's something that's in the errata.
Okay.
It says that there are class restrictions and maximum levels.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they can be thieves.
Yeah.
Of course, they can be fighters.
Uh-huh.
And they can be up to 12th level rangers.
Yes.
Rangers get to start casting spells at 8th level, or 9th level.
Now there's an interesting thing. Let's see, because they don't believe in gods either.
8th level.
Yeah, they don't believe in gods either. So
do they believe in like nature totems and stuff like that, or?
I don't even know if they even believe in that.
Yeah, they don't believe in superstition, no magic, ghosts, spirits, or the supernatural. But if they're going to be Beastmen Rangers, they are spellcasters of priest spells from 8th to 12th level, which can get them up to, second level spells.
Yeah, second. Or actually, it can go up to third, I think.
Well, and we all know that being a cleric doesn't have to be it doesn't have to follow a god. You can follow a concept like nature.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's still a very interesting concept for the DM and the player to work out. But yeah, I could see, I could see a Beastman being in an adventuring party with, a cleric who achieves things through his belief in something, and the mage who does it through waving his hands and speaking weird words, and all of a sudden things happen. Let's see. They don't have superstitions or anything. So
they could not, if they don't believe in magic or gods and supernatural or anything like that. They could do this stuff and just chalk it up to like what the monks do, rigid training or something like that.
Yeah, I could see them.
Some of the personal affecting stuff, yeah, but when it starts getting into the actual empowering or activating or engaging other stuff,
fireballs,
yeah. Then you're starting to get into, okay, you're reaching out and doing things. And they may chalk it up to not necessarily supernatural. They may think it is just part of the natural power, natural order of things, and consider such things very much like, I'm going to say a bad word to you, Glenn, powers of the mind, psionics. That isn't a supernatural thing. It's just a biological, natural state for them to be able to do what powers they can do when they have powers, or how they don't think of the gods or the mystical forces. They think much more logically of the ebb and flow of power, and they think of it scientifically in the noble savage kind of way, I would think.
Furry Jedi.
Yes.
Jedi. Now, another role-playing note is, now it says, in the wild, beastmen take on leadership roles depending on the circumstances. The best qualified takes charge as needed. When working with non-beastmen, they try to continue this honored tradition, usually to the chagrin of their companions. Now, I could see them being completely quiet and silent and not reacting to anything when they're in a city, although they're taking in everything and looking around and seeing what's going on. But as soon as they get out in the forest, like, no, now you do what I say.
Right.
We do like this, and things like that. Just that superiority, especially once in their element. Yeah, I could see that being an interesting party conflict kind of issue. Not, a character conflict issue, not a player conflict issue. That's what I should say.
I used one of these before.
Oh, you did?
You?
Oh,
yeah.
Do it. Talk about it.
Grommer, Grommir, Grommer.
My
beastman who came from a very large community of beastmen. I pulled an old school and pulled out the Cat Lord from the Monster Manual 2. And essentially he ended up showing up at their village and decided to say he's a god and he can make the sun rise and they should believe him. And when he started casting some spells, they started listening, and Gromir just went, yeah, I don't believe this, I'm leaving. And he went lived with the humans who obviously know what to do because there are obviously a lot more humans than there are beastmen. So yeah.
That's true.
I've had a player, and essentially he's working to get rid of the Cat Lord out of his kingdom.
Interesting.
Hmm.
That's an interesting thing, and yeah, is a nice. Now, see, this is one of those races that I cannot see anyone but a veteran player playing. I can't see a novice player trying to do this. No. Trying to take on that kind of role-playing responsibility, because there is a lot of role-playing possibilities with this race.
Right.
I can see a lot of not novice players power gaming their way into this and thinking, "Ooh, it's awesome! I got 80% magic resistance, hell yeah!" And then and then trying to be douchebags about, "I don't care about your spell casting. I don't believe you." And it's like, well, you don't get any party healing.
You wouldn't get it anyway because that magic resistance is across the board.
Your Beastman's dead. You want us to raise him?
Yeah, good luck with that.
We don't have the time to fight your 80% magic resistance.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. Yeah, that in itself is a difficulty because that not only is against detrimental effects, that's against healing, that's against supportive spells. That is across the board, and I am very well aware of the option of a magic resistant person willingly lowering their resistance. I wouldn't count that here. That's something that's always in effect.
It's a concept they don't get.
Yeah, exactly. And because they don't get it, they don't believe in it. And
it's like, I've got 80% magic resistance. What magic I don't believe in magic. Why would I have resistance? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. This doesn't. I don't understand how this happens, but this doesn't work. Yeah, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, that's part and parcel of it. So, there's one of the few in that book that I would allow a player to play. But once again, like you said, a veteran should play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I said, this is heavy role playing because it's just constantly not only keeping that concept of what I can't touch, smell, taste, or see. I don't believe in it. And that's kind of hard to maintain.
It's almost Conan-esque.
Yes. Yeah, but even Conan had to, he had to realize that there was other things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you of course can always tailor and customize these beastmen to your particular world-setting worldview. Mm-hmm. You don't have to stick them in a forest. You can make them desert beastmen. You can make them jungle beastmen. You can make them grassland beastmen.
Easily.
You can make the beast type that they hail from. You can put more pronounced bestial features on them if you so choose to distinguish them from other fur-bearing critter type manmians or whatever you want to make them.
Mm-hmm.
Make them mox.
Yeah, you could easily. Yeah. Just with a different kind of language other than what you saw in frickin' Thunder. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm a Mog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
Do you carry a bag around to clean up after yourself?
Yeah, attach a bag to your butt. Anyway, shall we move on?
Yes, please. Talk to us about it, folks, at THACOshammer@gmail.com. Let's move on to It's in the Book.
If we go by the book, hours would seem like days.
Go buy the book! Buy the book!
By the book?
By the book.
You must unlearn what you have learned. Don't go by the book. Think like a pirate.
It's in the book. Okay, It's in the Book is animal companions and purchased animals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have something of a reputation in North Texas for every time in Mike's game for buying a dog to take with us, who invariably gets killed right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's whole. I treat it as a better him than me thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the last one survived. So, yeah, animal companions. What we got? We got rangers. We got paladin's horse, and we
rangers and druids and paladin horse can
maybe
and any other character. Any other character who wants to go into a shop and say, "Hey, I want that ferret" or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's a fairly comprehensive list in the player's handbook.
Like I'm trying to make the differentiation between that and familiars.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. In the case of animal companions, usually, I mean, it happened in Hammers of the Duchy where you happen upon a couple of dogs. And Allie's character, who was a ranger, treated them properly, and the dogs started to follow her, and they actually defended her when they fought.
I told you not to feed them. Now they're going to be everywhere. Yeah,
something like that. But yeah, at the end when they confronted that red dragon, they ran away, as they should.
Yes.
So as far as animal companions, of course, you have your familiars, and there are various ways aside from the player's handbook spell description. I'm thinking of Dragon Magazine issue number 200, where they had a much more comprehensive list of animals that you could get for casting Find Familiar. of course, rangers, of course, druids who get their own at, certain levels in their careers. The way I play companions, of course, I take control of them. To me, they're another NPC. And because, yeah, when going back to my power gaming days, of course, you had, the players that I ran, they used every method that they could to keep from getting hurt seriously or killed. That meant hiring meat shields. That meant buying or finding animals in the wild and training them to defend the characters. Yeah, exactly. So that it was just one more thing for the enemy to get through the character. That's the kind of players that I had, and that was rather difficult.
Yeah, I have a cat as an animal companion just for the big bad throw it in his face claws first.
Yeah, but regular sized cats don't do a lot of damage. It's just for a distraction.
You'd be surprised. Yes, it is for distraction.
Oh yeah, and there's the different flavors between familiars is one thing, very very magical.
Yep.
The Beastmasters companions are another thing, not very magical, but very magically bonded.
Yep.
Then you've got your animal companions of the ranger, which is the next tier down, where they're like followers, but they're natural animals, not even necessarily more or less intelligent than anything else.
Yep.
Then you've got the natural animals of the world that the druid just kind of makes friends with, but that doesn't really give them any actual animal followers. Remember, druids shape change. They are their own animal companions.
True.
They
That's
don't
true.
get any specials.
Yeah.
But they can make friends, and you can be like, pipe smoking, rabbit sled driving soup wizard if you really want to, but that's some doing.
Pendergast.
Yeah, and then you've got just, hey, I'm the halfling with my natural affinity for dogs, and I'm going to have a riding war dog mount, or any other critter that's out there that you just do animal handling and training with.
Right.
And that's the evolution of scale of level of control you have.
And aside from that tier, separately, which is a separate case, is the Paladin's Horse, which seems to be a combination of all of the certain percentage of all of these.
Well,
aside from familiar.
Yeah, the Paladin's Horse is a really special case because that is just a natural animal that is imbued with the way I look at it is it's sort of like a bond between the two beings and also being imbued with the Paladin's faith in his deity or whatever it may be.
Right. Can we say Paladin's mount instead of Paladin's horse? Because it's not always necessarily a horse.
No, you're right. Yeah. I mean, I had a
rocking the Eberron halfling paladin riding the Paladin's war velociraptor.
Yeah. I had a neutral good paladin who had a tiger as his companion. Yeah, it's true.
I had a paladin that rode a triceratops.
Yep.
Right on.
Yep. But I mean, so those are like the various things that but that's like way out. That's almost like on the level of the Find Companion spell, which is in another issue of Dragon Magazine. I think it's an annual, and that one is where things get really interesting. No, I'm sorry, not Find Companion. There's Find Familiar, which is a first level spell. Find Companion, which is third, and then there's Find Minion, which is sixth.
You mean you can find those little yellow guys with one eye?
I knew that was coming.
Banana?
Banana.
I want the little green guys with the three eyes. That claw.
And one more category to mention, to be aware of, is outside of all of the class-based, mystical origin, physical, regular training thing, there's always the ever-popular magical item animal companion.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I've got my statue. It gets me a horse. I got my statue. It gets me a Black Panther.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
It goes, it fights, it goes back.
Yep. Yeah, and I've had plenty of those on several different characters. There's one particular character I can think of. I think she was a fighter mage, and she's got like not only does she have a familiar, she has a companion. She's close to actually being able to get a minion, but she also has like a stone horse to ride around. She has like one or two figurines of wondrous power to back, for when things really get serious.
They should totally start getting jealous of each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was something that the DM that I was playing under when I played this character, that was one of the things that he kind of did just almost as a matter of course. He actually had their personalities clashing. And it was like the character spent more time keeping them from tearing each other's throats out than actually doing what she was supposed to be doing. Yeah.
I'm thinking of a tunnel fighter troll with a dire ferret or a dire mole as his mount.
A dire mole.
Underground, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Oh, you mean a deep gnome?
Yeah, a tunnel fighter.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah. I could see that.
What boy? I thought you had natural direction sense. What do you mean we took a wrong turn at Albuquerque?
Yeah. Well, sometimes things go awry for different reasons.
That's true. But anyway, talk to us about it, people, at THACOSammer@gmail.com. Let's move on to the next section, which is related to this, Rule 0.
Am I the only one around here who gives a about the rule?
Hey, rules are, there ain't no rules.
Hey! Ladies! That was fun!
Thank you for a very enjoyable day.
Rule 0. Rule 0. Handling animal companions.
Correct.
The other shoe.
Yep, the other shoe that
Corey,
needs to
how
drop.
do you handle animal companions?
With proficiency?
As a DM.
I use the morale. Very importantly, as long as it's an animal companion that's not magically or class given. If it's an animal companion like Glen and his dog, there'd be a morale roll. Most things that the dog wouldn't be used to doing. Animal handling, if you don't have any animal handling proficiencies, it's pretty much up to the dog or the pet or the animal.
Right.
Proficiencies will help control. Proficiencies will allow you to do other things with the animal. Walking a horse through a swamp, so you can find the nothing when you find the mountain man and the giant turtle.
Yeah. Teaching the tricks. How many proficiencies can the animal learn? How many have you taught it?
Yep.
What special gimmicks or tricks or complex things have you taught it to do, if any, other than your basic command set, if any, if it's that kind of animal?
Right.
But you have a bunch of players who just got finished with a campaign and they're walking back through farmland, and Farmer Johnson has 5 very large hound dogs that are quite protective of his land. Guess what? Animal handling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But I've got my animal companion cow with me. He keeps trying to herd it.
Yeah. I mean, there is an issue in Dragon Magazine, and there also is a section in the DMG, I believe, about how you can train animals to do various tasks or tricks, and I think those were supplemented by another rule set which is more complete, which is in the Complete Ranger's Handbook.
Right.
And that way you're able to, it tells you what the trick does, or whatever the command is, how long the animal will perform it, and how long it's going to take you to train the animal to do it. And that's training it every day for however long it takes.
And this is why there's such a big disparity in some of the costs for some of the animals you can just buy off the animal list in the player's handbook versus, I'm going to buy a dog.
Right.
Okay, you buy a dog. I'm going to buy a hunting dog. Well, that's a specific skill set that has been trained by someone with animal handling to teach it commands for hunting. They tell you, tell this, and this, and you can give it those commands, and it's now a hunting dog.
Yep.
I want to have a guard dog.
Yep.
I want to have a war dog.
Yep.
Those are all distinct and separate skill sets.
I would make
training.
I would make part of the cost the one slot you need in animal handling to deal with this one animal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing, yeah. Well, animal handling, sure, I could see that. I
But
mean,
I give that one slot.
mhm.
2 if you want to teach us stuff like kill or bite its butt or something like that.
I think
But for
generally, I
for
always
like,
thought the rule was for animal handling, you had to take
sit up, beg, all that kind of stuff. That's
by type of animal you wanted to train. Like if I take a slot of the proficiency animal handling, I'm taking animal handling dogs.
Yeah, it's specific.
Don't ask me to teach cats or horses. I've got animal handling dogs.
There isn't a animal handling cats. Don't we all know this by now?
Until you give them thumbs and wings.
Yeah, this is true.
I've got 5 slots at animal handling. What do you handle? Warthogs?
Yeah.
Razorbacks?
Well, that's the funny part. Yeah, you could train hogs and pigs and things like that. They're very intelligent. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing is with animal handling, it's for specific animal. If you want a different animal, you have to take the proficiency again. So,
I can see a thief taking animal handling for 1 slot for tricks to entertain people, and then he takes like another slot for like go over and steal that guy's ring out of his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
I could see him with he could be an organ grinder.
A rat or a ferret or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a really small animal. Yeah, I could see that.
Or a naked mole rat. No.
But yeah, I mean, as far as handling them, as far as combat goes, yeah, like Corey said, it's all dependent on the morale, and like Full-On said, there are different levels. Like for using dogs as the example, going from a regular dog, its morale is this. A hunting dog is going to be higher. A guard dog is going to be higher still, and a war dog is going to be higher from that still.
It could come down to a charisma check.
What do you mean?
Dogs versus yours. If you can roll charisma higher than the dog's charisma, basically you become the alpha. You become the alpha male.
That's part of the. I see that included in when you buy the dog, because you have to spend some time around the dog. You know, I've seen too many freaking episodes of Dog Whisperer or whatever that freaking show is. But you have to spend time around the dog. The dog has to accept you. It's not just a question of plunking your gold down and saying, "Oh, I have a dog that will do what I say." No, there's a little role-playing aspect to it. Just a little bit.
Yeah, and again, you have to break it down whether you're teaching general tasks or specific tricks. And then, of course, the difficulty of whether you're dealing with an animal bred for training, a captive, domesticated animal, no matter what the species is, versus trying to train down and train a wild animal cold from the woods.
Yeah, that's completely different. Yeah,
I've had some experience dealing with dogs that have like half wolf in them. That is a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah. Let
me tell you.
Yeah, I can see why.
You've got to become you got to become a whole lot more wolf yourself just to get down into their mindset and become be able to take that position he was talking about and be the alpha in the pack. Otherwise, they're just not going to listen to you.
Two houses ago, our younger stepson gave us a couple of those to watch for him for a while in the backyard, and I kept trying to give them water in a dish. They kept coming over and drinking out of it when I wasn't. I mean, I just started. They come over, and there was 3 of them. I had to get down dirty and basically bark the hell out of them, and all of a sudden they cowered.
Yeah, that's one of those.
Like,
you
damn
have
it, let me finish.
Yeah, you have to do that. And especially with the higher breed, with the more combat or the combat oriented breeds or wilder breeds, you have to do it that way.
I can. It kind of makes me wonder how like goblins get wargs as mounts. You imagine the training for that?
Yeah, from puppies. Yeah, the training I see is being really harsh.
Yeah. And they probably got like one like hobgoblin around with like a bunch of scars and one arm who's been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah, something like that.
I know how to do it here.
Yeah, I agree.
That and or the shaman has an in with the dire wolf that's the pack leader for the wargs.
Then there's that. Yeah, using speak with animals. Yeah, that's true. That's another way. But yeah, like like I said, we can think that this whole thing through from soup to nuts, and as a DM, it's
nuts.
yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna go there, but as a DM, it's when you decide to go down this road, when the ranger starts getting animal companions. Now, never mind the fact that you can actually roll up humans and humanoids on that chart, but when you get animal companions, you have to now even if it's just a little note here and there about the animal's personality or how, what this animal does in this or that situation, you have to keep that in mind. That was the hardest thing that I had to do in regard to those 2 dogs that Allie's ranger picked up.
And here's some media you can look at to try to understand some of the aspects of difference of how these creatures interact with whatever's going on. You can watch Road Warrior. Mad Max and his dog is one relationship level.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch Beastmaster.
Lethal Weapon 2.
Dar with his tiger, his eagle, and his ferrets is really high-end Ranger Beastmaster type animal companion level interaction.
Yep.
Then you can look at things like, hey, Flipper, Gentle Ben, Benji, Lassie. That's a different level of, or hell, Lone Ranger, him and Silver.
Yep.
Wait,
they got their own thing going on.
Would those other ones that you just said be considered the Disney level?
Oh. Wow, Corey. Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah,
and of course, you always
right.
got, we named the monkey Jack.
Yes. Now that was a well-trained monkey.
Yeah. That monkey had average intelligence. That was a really smart monkey.
I was an undead zombie monkey.
True.
Look, undead monkey. Boom.
Yep.
But all of these are going to give you different cues as the DM to think about what you can get away with having the critter do and what they're going to do for the players and where you need to draw the line at. The players asking the critter to do this, give them some leeway and just let them go ahead and do it, or where you have to put your hand in and say, you've given the command, let's see if it actually works, or I'm going to see how the animal reacts. I'm going to tell you what happens as the result of your option and what the animal's really thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if the animal remains very free-willed and isn't under any kind of compulsion to actually obey.
True.
Or commitment or relationship that makes it want to obey in spite of its own life and instincts.
Well, see, and that's the other thing about being a ranger and getting those animal companions. They are not obligated to obey you. They are not.
I'd like to play a really, really nervous, jumpy ranger known as the Blink Dog Whisperer.
And the Blink Dog just keeps messing with him.
Yeah.
Just teleporting here, and there.
Well, it's better than that guy over there. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Better than the Displacer Beast Whisperer over there.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's something else. Yeah, you want to know something? Just a quick little story. When I was playing in Allie's game, we happened upon we basically happened upon a lair of Displacer beasts. We killed the parents, and the cubs were barely a couple of weeks old. And one of my characters did have animal training. So yes, and the problem is that because they are evil creatures in principle, you have to start from a negative and bring them up to 0 before you can try and train them to do what you want. And Allie was really good at playing that out because those little cubs were bastards. Constantly doing things that just
This is where you start looking into some magical supplements to your training kit. If I can't get a magical artifact or a figurine of wondrous power, I need to start having the dog collar of animal control to intervene in this beast that doesn't want to obey. Of course, that means somebody's going to pick pockets and remove that collar at an inopportune moment and mess up your game plan.
Depending on the DM.
depending on the DM. But you can use things like that to intercede, or if they want to try to shortcut, I'm sure some player's going to think of, well, what if I take a potion of animal control? Okay, how long is it going to last?
Yeah, exactly.
And, how are you going to start freebasing that and become addicted to it on a normal basis? I'm going to take the potion of speak with animals, or I'm going to feed potions of speak with animals to the animals so they can speak to us, or whatever.
No, that would be interesting.
What did you say, Corey?
You want to buy some death sticks?
Exactly. Oh.
Go home and rethink your animal's life.
And if you are having conversations with the animal companions, what basis are you having the conversations with? Is it an empathy basis? Is it actual animal conversation where you're speaking with animals to speak with animals? And are you having a human conversation back from the animal's point of view, or are you having an animal conversation?
I can just see. Look at the big 300-pound half-orc with an 18-aught strength and his animal companion. Is it boo-boo doo-boo? Is it boo-boo doo-boo?
Another perfect example to look at, and you can go back to your DreamWorks for this, is, hey, up.
Yeah, that's true, too.
You must wear the cone of shame.
Squirrel!
I'd rather train the seagulls from Finding Nemo.
Oh,
but they have only one thing on their mind. So anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
But that's a good one, folks. This is a good one. You can tell us all about it, all about your animal companions and how you handle it at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Oh, the later the night it is, the more eloquent I get, aren't I?
Yeah.
But let's go on to option package.
Which one is it? You must choose. Choose wisely.
Maybe something bad. Maybe something good.
What the hell's going on out here?
That is a choice.
You chose poorly.
Option package, the Beast Rider kit from the Complete Fighter's Handbook.
Cool.
Okay, here we go with the weird mounts.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like full-on said in Splat Book 106, where he had a halfling with a war boar?
No, it was my dwarf with a war boar. That was actually a figurine of Wondrous Power variant of the Equus.
Yeah.
Instead of the bracer that gave you the horse, this was a bracer that gave me a big, the ultimate four-wheel drive war mount.
I listened back to 106 while I was at work a couple days ago, and as soon as you said that never fails to make me laugh because it's so true. I could see a dwarf just with a war board just tearing up this 45-degree incline hill and just going after like some orcs or something. But yeah, okay, Beast Rider.
Yeah, Complete Fighter's Handbook, page something or other.
Page 18, correct. Okay, description. Beast Rider is
with us if you can.
Yeah. Beast Rider is a warrior in a tribe or a clan, usually a barbarian tribe, which has a strong affinity for one type of animal. The animal is the totem of the tribe, and the Beast Rider makes friends very easily with that type of animal and can train it to be a riding beast, even if it's a type of animal not normally considered a riding beast.
So you can't do hummingbirds.
Well, yeah, that kind of be weird.
Can if you're a quickling.
You can if you're in the giant lands.
Yeah, you got a point there. Oh god, a giant hummingbird? Wow.
True.
Yikes. Yeah, maneuverability class A. Anyway.
I do with hawks. I strap one to each foot and they fly.
Yeah, okay, pulling a Prince Namor there. Okay. In a campaign, the Beast Rider is an exotic warrior who is notable for his kinship with his animal. Like the barbarian, he brings a wild outsider's attitude into the adventuring party. His animal also has abilities which can benefit the adventuring party. However, the more unusual the animal is, the harder it is to accommodate in all situations. Yeah, it's no problem to stable a horse at the end, but try to stabling a great white wolf, a wild boar, full on, or a dolphin for that matter. Yeah. So, let's see. Be a Beast Rider, you have to have a charisma of at least 13. Of course, that's on top of the normal fighter qualification, strength 9 and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. In his own society, the Beast Rider is the elite warrior, and he commands a lot of respect among his own kind. Outside his tribal grounds, he's definitely an outsider. His barbarian mannerisms and his obvious and very unusual friendship with his animals set him apart from most societies. Because of this, the Beast Rider may be especially attached to other player characters if they treat him as an equal and not a freak, even if he'd never admit it to them. Now, that's a nice little role-playing nugget right there.
Oh, you'll find him on top of the castle with his cage of pigeons.
And
these are my cage of swallows. I'm trying to train them to carry coconuts.
Exactly. What movie's that from?
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know.
Monty Python.
That's why I don't know.
And the Holy Grail.
Yeah, that's why I don't know. I've told you guys before.
You hit my Python button. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you don't watch Monty Python, but you watch Red Dwarf.
No, I haven't watched Red Dwarf in a long ass time.
God. Yeah, I said I'm doing the. If we were Klingon, I'd be turning around and giving you my back right now.
Oh well. Full on. Bring that up. That's too funny not to share.
Well, they have a big old list of the various critters that they're talking about here, which can include, and here's a list they have, and they say this is not an all-inclusive list.
Mm-hmm.
They include bat, huge, like a mobat. Gnomes and halflings only can ride this. Or a bear, or a boar, or a buffalo, a camel, a dolphin, a dragon, only in high-powered heroic campaigns. Elephant, griffins, hippogriffs, horses, hyenodons, lizards, giant, fire, or minotaur lizards.
Mm-hmm.
Lobster, giant, and pegasus. Manta rays, seahorses, giant, similodon, wild tigers, unicorns, wolf, dire, and then other odd things like, let's see, giant gargantuan spiders, sword spider rider. His name is Charlotte.
His name is Wilbur. No, it wasn't Wilbur. God, the pig.
You're
yes,
right,
pig.
Charlotte.
Yes, Wilbur. The spider's name is Charlotte.
Yes.
I can see that.
I want to ride a giant lobster. You get front attacks, and when he dies, you can eat him with butter.
Correct.
You're a badass. You ride a giant scorpion.
Oh, yeah, you have to be immune to poison.
Duck your head.
Have lots of training involved in that.
Yeah, a whole lot of training. Well, actually, they're untrainable because they're not smart. But that's another thing. But yeah, the list in this in the supplement is just expansive enough, even with you going really weird, But I could see like a sea elf, riding a manta ray, or even a merman riding a giant seahorse. I could see cannibalistic halflings or even dwarves riding a freaking smilodon, which is a saber-toothed tiger.
So we'll have a sea elf riding a seahorse, and he can mentally control sea animals.
Oh,
this sounds
God.
very familiar.
The Eberron halfling tribes ride dinosaurs.
Yep. Yeah.
Pteranodons, velociraptors,
Yep.
T-Rexes.
Yeah.
When they go on war marches, you kind of notice.
Yeah. You can hear them coming too.
And the flying squad with the.
There are drow tribes that have
Pterodactyls.
giant bats. They have spider cavalry. They have lizard cavalry.
Yeah.
All of which have the option to run on ceilings.
Okay, the goblin with the flump, please get out of here.
Yeah, riding a flump. That would
Hey,
be
that's
fun.
air cav. Put
Yeah.
archers on flumps.
Man,
Now
that's
it's dangerous. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Now, that's the advantage, but the hindrance is kind of bad. Not kind of bad, but it can be. Okay. Now, of course, in most societies, beast riders are looked at like, check out the weirdo with that wolf, yeah, and they'll get like a -3 reaction adjustment when meeting NPCs from any culture but his own. They don't have to be hostile towards the beast rider, but let's just they'll just kind of shun him probably. And
they will shun him until his mount goes.
Yeah, exactly. And if the
That's my horse. Don't you know? Can't you see that horse loves me?
Yeah, that's the problem. And if the beast rider's animal ever dies, in the presence or far away, the beast rider immediately takes 2d6 points of damage and must make a save versus spells. If he fails, he's he behaves as if he was hit with a feeble mind spell for the next 2d6 hours. Even if he makes the save.
That's almost as bad as a familiar dying.
Yeah, almost. But it's not quite on that level. And even if the player makes a save, the character's player should role play out the going through the death of a beloved friend.
It's more than that. It's a telepathic link. There's an actual mental bond with a Beast Rider's companion creature. It's not just, I have a nice horse and I know it's got lots of tricks.
Look
it's
at
not
my
Hidalgo.
horse. My horse is amazing.
This is like, again, let's go back to Avatar. This is spirit bonding with your flying mount. This is what this is.
Yep. If you want to go Anne McCaffrey, this is what impressing a dragon is.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd rather have a horse. I'd rather have a plain horse mount, but I want the horse from Tangled.
Yeah.
He is one badass horse.
Yeah, he is. He's got a bad attitude too.
That's a case of, it's not a paladin's warhorse. It's a warhorse who took levels in paladin.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree.
Fight with a sword in his mouth. Unbelievable.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, the Beast Rider's a nice kit, but it's one of those things where if the player really wants to do off the wall companions and things like that, don't hesitate to have it have a negative impact when they're going through a town or something like that. Where
I've had players who play Beast Riders and they've got exotic mounts, and I let them have it, and they're like, yeah, I'm awesome, check me out on my freaking Bahir mount, I'm awesome. I'm like, okay, so everybody's going to town? Yeah, we're gonna go sell. Yeah, you're not allowed in.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Well, you have to leave your beast outside, and it has to be caged or tied up and chained.
Okay,
no, that's not happening.
I'm not riding a Bahir. I'm riding my club-footed pack ape, and we're gonna put a long coat over him and camouflage him as the barbarian when we go into town.
No, that's funny.
We're gonna dress him as a ghost, and he's gonna keep saying "phone home."
Oh my god!
What are those flying monkeys?
Flying monkeys.
The flying gorillas.
No, I can't. Oh god.
Those would be good mounts.
Jeez, I've seen them. I mean, yeah, I could see. Yeah, the possibilities with this are endless. I mean,
Dude, why the giant snail? I don't get it.
Let's see. I could see like an evil elven fighter mage riding a manticore. If you really want to start, getting like interesting opponents. Yeah.
Sahagan war leaders riding megalodons.
Ooh.
I keep flashing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 12 hit dice sharks. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I keep flashing back to the old Rumpelman's ad.
Okay.
With the babe with the chainmail bikini riding a dire polar bear.
Yep.
Oh my god! If that doesn't give you a story idea.
Mm-hmm. Well,
the ice Valkyries.
Yeah, the chicken heavy metal for that matter.
Yep. That was another
with her
paladin.
chicken.
That was your choice between a paladin mount combo or a beast rider mount combo for the Terrakians. Absolutely.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. You stole my Lochner, bitch. Oh, sorry. Sorry, every time I think of heavy metal, that line just pops into my head. I can't help it.
Happens.
Yeah. I need to watch that movie again.
Anyway, this is
pretty, but dumb.
Yeah.
What's the requirements on this kit besides the charisma and the thing like that? I mean,
yeah, just the regular fighter ones, which is
plus
a 9
the charisma
strength
thing.
Yeah.
And, okay.
Yeah.
And what are these special abilities again?
Okay.
Well, let's see. If you're using secondary skills, by the way, you have to take the groom animal handling secondary skill.
Yeah, that's required.
Because you got to, take care of your buddy.
Yep. Got to be able to care for him.
You get bonus proficiencies, animal training, riding. Now, they say land-based, but of course some of these are flying mounts, so you could go with flying instead of land-based.
Or sea-based.
And you have to declare the animal that these apply to.
A Hawkman that sounds like Brian Blessed.
Die! alive. Who wants to live forever? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So.
And so what other Benny? You get those proficiencies.
Right. The telepathic bond, of course.
Yeah.
Whenever you're dealing with those type of animals that you are bonded with, you get a +5 reaction adjustment, positive, and of course you get the friend, and of course you start with this animal as your friend and mount, and the animal is devoted to him and will risk or sacrifice its own life to save the character, and the character is expected to behave the same way towards its mount. Now, if for some reason the player doesn't do something like that, or the player doesn't role play the attachment to the animal, don't hesitate to treat it as if he's abandoning the kit, which means he loses the telepathic rapport, he takes the damage, he might get feeble-minded. I would go that far.
And his friend might just bugger off and find somebody else to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just might. He just might.
The telepathic rapport that they have is as follows. When in contact or visual line of sight, you can tell what the beast is feeling, even thinking if it has some intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Him and the animal can communicate with one another without appearing to. Mm-hmm. So they have that we don't have to talk, we just finish our own sentences and thoughts behavior.
Right.
When the two are not within line of sight, they can know the other's emotional state, whether or not the other's hurt. They'll know the direction of travel to find their friend and the approximate distance, like is it 100 yards, an hour's travel, several days, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they can actually, it can be a plot device to use separation to your advantage with a good beast rider.
Correct.
Hey, look, my animal companion gave me some chicken soup. He knew I was sick.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean, with some of the more intelligent animals just even listed, like say a dolphin, which is just as intelligent, if not more so than most humans, or like a Pegasus or a unicorn or something like that. You could have Tangled.
Would you let me get away with like swarms instead of individual animals, like maybe a cockroach swarm carrying?
No. Can you ride them?
A lemming swarm, sure. Like if
we're talking about Beast Rider, can you ride them?
Like a flying carpet, sure, just at ground level.
Full on, come on now.
Okay, we're
Creeping Doom, anyone?
Yeah, we're getting a little silly here. So
it's not entirely unlogical.
No, but you're pushing boundaries again.
Yeah.
It's what you do. I understand.
Corey, you're next to him. Slap him. Look.
You like the idea. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Anyway, that's the Beast Rider, and you'll find that in the Complete Fighter's Handbook, and you can talk about it to us at thacoshammer@gmail.com.
The Eagles.
Time to put another one to bed, boys. Close the splat book.
Yep, another one for me to edit, which will probably be done this
I gotta go take my pills, so anyway. Say goodnight, Corey.
Good night, folks. Have a good one. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll be back next week.
And Flood?
Gamer Nation, have a wonderful, wonderful 4th of July weekend, or whatever weekend it happens to be by the time this hits the air.
And Mr. Brian.
And remember, folks, when you see that dwarf riding a giant lizard, and
it's full on.
It might just be, but yeah, if you see him on the ceiling upside down, you might have a problem.
No, that's the Gecko Rider.
Yeah, but even so.
Or something like that. And I'm DM Glenn saying, ride whatever you want, and we'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye. Gecko Rider. Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.